Hello, this is my introduction to the April issue of the Mover magazine, and I must start off with an apology because I did say in my last video for the March issue that in the April issue we're going to be talking about the FIDE conference and about the Omni conference. Well, that was never going to happen, was it? And the sharp-eyed amongst you would have realised that because by the time I'd only just come back from the conference at that stage, and this magazine was well underway and almost sort of printer by that time. So that was my mistake. Sorry, I lied to you. Those reports are going to be in the May issue in a month's time. Meanwhile, we've got the April issue here, and you can see there's a picture on the front of Andy Mack from Asian Express. He's known as the father of Hong Kong groupage, and that sounds a little bit grand really, but actually when you find out the story, then that's actually true. That's really the way that it worked out to be, and the story is in the magazine. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a second. But a couple of other stories I just wanted to bring your attention to. There's lots in the magazine, of course, but just a couple that I wanted to bring your attention to. There's one here from Simpson Packaging. Now, Simpson Packaging is a company in the UK that supplies packing materials, and they've done a super job recently. They've moved premises, and they've not just moved premises. I mean, they've moved to a totally different kind of building, purpose-built building that has really completely transformed the business. And I'd like you to have a look at that story and read about it. It is a complete change from what we've been doing before. Not that there was anything wrong with what we were doing before, you understand, but it is a complete change. And there's another story in here that I thought, well, we just wanted to do this story. This is, there are some times in life where life bowls you a bit of a bouncer, where something goes wrong, not because of anything that you've done, something that you really couldn't control, that you had no influence over at all, that affects your business. And this happened to a guy in the UK, so it's a moving company in the UK. It's run by a chap called Gabby Gomez, who's a great fella, and I'm sure he does a good job for his customers. And when he was naming his company, his daughter at the time was studying Egyptology, and they decided to name the company after an Egyptian goddess who was known for caring and understanding. That was the name of the goddess, and thought that was a good name for a moving company. And I mean, who would disagree? That is a good name. Unfortunately, the goddess was called Isis, and so that, of course, has recently taken on a totally different connotation. And actually, although you might think that's actually quite sort of amusing and funny, it has affected Gabby's business, and sometimes some of his private clients are not always as keen to give him the business, purely because of the name of the company, not anything that he's done. And it's such a shame. He does a lot of trade work, however, and a lot of corporate work. But the private side has taken a bit of a dive, and so we put the story in just because it was an interesting story, but also we know that a lot of trade people read the magazine, and this industry has a reputation for helping each other out in moments of crisis. And I'm not suggesting this is a crisis for Gabby, but any donations that anybody could put it his way would be gratefully received. Maybe there's a bit of you need a bit of trade help at some stage, and give Gabby a call. Read the story anyway. It's a good story, but there we are. Now then, what else was there? Oh yeah. Oh, this is the other one was the Andy Mack story. Now, I was able to drop in and see Andy in Hong Kong because we were away on holiday. My wife and I were away on holiday, and so we went to see him at the place there. I've not been to his place for 30 odd years, and I can promise you things have changed a great deal in that time. And I'd like you to read the story. It gives you some of the background as to the Hong Kong migration phenomenon, why it happened, and what happened as a result of it. But the really interesting thing is this is the first part of a two-part story. Because of course if you're shipping things out of a country, they've got to go somewhere. And a lot of the traffic went to Canada. And next month we're going to be doing a story about the same thing, about the Hong Kong migration phenomenon, but looking at it from the other point of view. And I'm sure you find it particularly interesting, particularly when you put these two together. But the story is just really an indication of a much wider issue. And I'd like you, if you would, to read both of them. And I think it might just change your attitudes to some of the things that are going on in the world right now. Hope you enjoy it anyway. Bye for now.